Good day. This is Cherian Kuruvila, a business mentor, coach, facilitator, and a wellness practitioner. This is a video which is part of a series which I have just introduced based on a recent presentation which I had made. The first video talks a little bit more about my journey as a corporate leader and then transition to an entrepreneur. The second video specifically talks about my work as a business mentor with entrepreneurs. The third video talks about the whole idea of individual coaching for entrepreneurs and for corporate leaders. And in this video, I'm going to be talking more about this whole area of facilitation, workshops, sessions that I have been doing over the last many years. Right. So my request is for you to get a better feel of the kind of work that we have done basis our experiences and how that could be of benefit to you or your organization. Yeah, just give me a moment while I just share the screen and take you through this journey so that you are able to visualize what we actually do. So here we are, over the last 13 years that I've been an entrepreneur, there have been a series of events and series of sessions, series of panel discussions, series of keynote addresses around various facets of entrepreneurship, around leadership, around HR, around people, and the importance of systems and structures and processes even for smaller businesses, and how larger organizations, corporates, multinationals could benefit from the kind of experience shares that we bring to the table, right? With the kind of variety of experience that we have. So if you really look at it, we have different caps. I wear one of that of a business coach and a mentor, which is, like I said, for the entrepreneur segment. There's one of an individual coach, which could be around leadership. It could be for executives at the senior level. It could be for mid-level people. It could be for entrepreneurs. So very, very more individual focused. And then there's this whole aspect of group facilitation, right, which is for larger groups, mid-sized groups, smaller groups across different levels in different departments. And the last part is about being a panelist and speaker, which I've just spoken about in this particular slide. So let me get down to, the important thing is, why do we do what we do? 13 years ago, when we left the corporate sector and we decided that we want to do something different and we want to give back all our learnings and experiences, give back all our gray hair, and all those experiences across multiple industries. I myself have worked in 5 different industries in different locations, different roles, different stages of organizations, and the width and depth of experience across sales, marketing, operations, P&L, project management, have all been very hands-on experiences, and I think that is what has really been brought to the table. And when we started our journey 13 years ago, we said, let's give back all these learning and experience to any group or any individual or any organization which can benefit from it. So, what drives us every day is, whose life or whose business can I make a difference to today? So the key word is today, right? So to me, as a solo entrepreneur, every today is important because I know that today I can make a difference to somebody with my work, with my experience, with my, I wouldn't call it wisdom, with the gray hair and all that one has gone through to get that gray hair, right? How to give all that back, right? That's a very empowering kind of a state for the organization, for the individual, and for myself, right? So every engagement with a client is an experience and a learning for me as well, right? And that's what really has made this whole journey so enjoyable. Quick flavor, our organization started 13 years ago. We just entered our 14th year in April this year. We have 3 core services. One is the business mentoring coaching, which is, like I said, focused on the entrepreneur segment, coaching is focused for corporates and entrepreneurs. And knowledge share is our way of giving back our knowledge and experiences more around webinars, videos, articles, workshops, panels, right? And in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about our work in this area, right? And more so in the last 3 years because of the COVID situation and the lockdown and the hybrid working. A lot of our work has actually been in this area because we're able to address large groups across the country in different parts of the world, virtually and physically now. Of course, this year it's become a combination of virtual and physical. But for 2 years, it was a lot of virtual work, but ability to influence a very large number of people. And so I think that is the exciting thing that we've liked about what we do is the fact that we are talking about impact, not just to one individual, it could be to the larger groups. Ours is a partnership firm. It started 13 years ago. That time, right now, I think our experience is almost, 80 years combined. Both of us put together, that's a lot of experience. And our whole objective is how to take the organizations and people to the next level, right? That's really what drives us, as we say. So I'm going to be talking more about our whole aspect of knowledge share, our knowledge share series, our leadership videos, our webinars, our workshops, right? And all the things that are going to be spoken about a little bit more in this video, so you get a bit of flavor, right? So a lot of our actions have been catering to two large segments, right? One is the corporates, mid-sized corporates, the large corporates, the multinationals, right? Covering mid to senior leaders across locations, across industries, right? And our experience, we have covered clients across the banking and financial services sector. We've covered clients across the automobile sector. We've covered IT and IT services. We've covered pharma and healthcare, and this is more in the corporate sector, right? And I think the approach that we take is whichever topic we talk about, the case studies and all the discussions are customized to that particular industry in the context in which that particular business or that particular team is, right? And I think so that makes it very experiential, that makes it very, less theoretical, because we ourselves come with 40 years of experience, having been in the corporate roles, various leadership roles, various industries. So I think our whole sharing of knowledge is very, very experiential, very, very focused on relatability, examples from India, examples from success stories we've had, examples from coaching engagements that we've had, examples of mentoring and business mentoring engagements that we've had. And, so we found that every engagement that we had, our participants have gone back feeling enriched, right, through the whole engagement. So the first workshop or the kind of intervention I can say, has been around strategic leadership, strategic thinking, strategic planning, strategic execution, right? It could be for mid-level leaders as an organization is scaling up. It could be for the senior level leaders. And we find that while we are coaching a lot of senior leaders, we're coaching a lot of CXOs, strategic leadership comes up as one of their goals, right? Despite the fact that many of these leaders have spent 15, 20 years of working experience, when they reach a director level or a senior director level or a vice president level, their roles do automatically get more strategic. They need to align to the larger vision of the organization. And many of them could be very good operational leaders, right? In fact, most people are very good subject matter experts in their domain, experts in that. But when it comes to coming up with a 2-year strategy plan or a 3-year strategy plan, right? Many of them are not exactly, I would not use the word competent, but not experienced in doing that kind of thing. So in this strategic leadership workshop, we do share a lot of concepts, but a lot of time spent with the team, with the groups, with the subgroups on how they can actually use those tools customized to their context, their industry, and come up with a strategic plan with a clear execution focus. And so it's a very structured way of engaging with the teams, depending, like I said, depending on the industry. The program gets customized, the case studies get customized. The second topic that I'm very passionate about, having been a high performance leader myself, right, is all about high performance leadership behaviors, performance behaviors and styles. Right. Today we hear a lot about toxic leadership. We hear a lot about aggressive leadership because of the kind of pressure that organizations are under. But high performance leadership behaviors and styles and situational leadership are things that, again, become a very integral part of my one-to-one coaching for many senior leaders, right? And we believe that these are as relevant to a larger group of leaders or managers in an organization. So our sessions, again, get customized to the context of the organization, but extremely relevant for that organization to go to the next level, that the leaders have to go to the next level, right? The third aspect, again, which comes up very clearly in our coaching engagements, one-on-one coaching engagements, is about this whole aspect of executive presence, right? At the manager level and at the senior leadership level, at the CXO level. How do you create an executive presence? What are the parameters that are important for executive presence, right? How do you focus on gravitas? How do you focus on communication? How do you focus on appearance? And how do you make sure that there's a clear understanding of how do I make my presence felt and how do I make my absence felt, right? And I think this whole session on executive presence and personal branding is something, again, that we find that many leaders who are very good functionally are not so great in terms of the way they project themselves, the way they communicate the kind of work that they're doing. Quite often people expect their work to speak for themselves, and unfortunately life doesn't work that way. It's not so simple in the corporate world that your work speaks for yourself and you grow based on that, right? You also need to speak up for yourself, speak up about the kind of work that you and your team is doing, and make sure it reaches the right stakeholders or multiple stakeholders who might be involved as you go up the ladder, right? So this session has happened online, and it also happens face to face, depending on what the need of the organization is. The other one is, today there's a lot of emphasis in various organizations about internal coaching, internal mentoring, and quite often these are organization-driven initiatives. They are mandated. But many of the managers and the people who are actually identified as mentors and coaches internally may not necessarily have been properly made ready for that. Right? So this topic actually addresses a larger group of managers and leaders, talking about what is coaching, what is mentoring, how they are different, what applies when, and stuff like that. So that after that, there's a lot of clarity in terms of how you can go about it. Can be introduced reverse mentoring as a concept in the organization, so that more senior leaders learn from more junior leaders and vice versa, and they help each other to sort of grow and create a very different kind of a culture in the organization. So a lot of these things actually finally cover aspects of culture, right? Reverse mentoring, how it is different. And if you really look at it, this covers aspects on delegation, this covers aspects on how each of these skills and behaviors and styles is actually no longer luxury in an organization. It's a necessity. And it's not just required for a few leaders or just for the CXO level leaders. It's a question in terms of how do you sort of cover different layers of management and expose them to how these programs can actually make a difference. So these were some of the programs that were largely, what we have offered so far, and we'll be happy to offer more depending on the requirement for corporates. Similarly, for the this is just a quick flavor on the whole mentoring and coaching program. What all we covered, is it different? How is it different? Who can benefit? When is the right time? Which is more suitable for me, right, in my role as a leader? So these are just some of the snapshots of the programs. Second one is about executive presence and personal branding, how you can reinvent yourself and raise your level of visibility within the organization and outside the organization and various networks that you're part of. Right? Coming to the second part of what we talked about in knowledge share is about what we offer for the SME and entrepreneur segment. So we worked with various organizations, various networks so far, and happy to do many more business groups, many more entrepreneur networks, because we realize that this knowledge share is something that entrepreneurs really soak in, because like I said, they're not always exposed to the best practices. They're not exposed to new ways of looking at old things. It could be around business planning, it could be around structuring, it could be around sales and marketing. So if you look at, there are a number of sessions that we have done, from distress to de-stress. So what got you here will not get you there. Building organization and growth pillars, reinvention framework for your business growth, the importance of a business health scan and business planning. This is more specific for entrepreneurs, less for corporates, more for entrepreneurs, because many of the entrepreneurs just look at growth. I want to grow 20%. I want to grow 30%. And that's not business plan. Business planning is a lot more intense and more detailed. So in this session, both online and offline, we really get into the details of how the business health scan and business planning can actually enable your chances of success and proper execution because of proper planning. Right? Should some of the businesses which are struggling go back to the startup mode and sort of reinvent their whole product strategy, marketing strategy, organization strategy, people strategy, and so that they can reinvent. So each of these sessions is covering a particular facet of what could be relevant to organizations, and for different entrepreneur groups, entrepreneur networks, we are happy to sort of customize a topic which could be relevant to the audience there. Right? The last topic, which I very recently did, was about the ABC of networking and collaboration. Again, extremely vital for entrepreneurs, for solo entrepreneurs. How to collaborate, how to network, and how to sort of position yourself, how to create your personal brand, how to let people come to you, how to draw business to you instead of you going and hunting for business all the time. So if you're not, each one of these topics is knowledge share. It's about sharing our experiences with the intention that, look, it's going to benefit somebody, right? Even if 5 out of 30 audience go back taking something which I can do, I think that's good enough, right? So we are measuring our efficacy based on what takeaways each one is taking from the session, which they can go back and apply in their business, right? I had covered this in my video on business mentoring or business coaching, but here again, it's been a whole concept of knowledge sharing. So a colleague of mine and myself need to come up with a series of videos around family businesses, around business coaching, around profitable business growth, around reinventing on business, about whole aspect of HR. If you look at HR, becomes a very critical aspect for most entrepreneurs, right? People are create the policies, processes, implement, right? Either they contribute to the success or they contribute to the failure of the organization. So the whole series of videos around various facets of HR. There's a set of videos around the importance of data and analytics for sales, for marketing, for customer service. And there's an aspect of marketing and branding, because a lot of entrepreneurs mix up sales and marketing, and the fact that marketing and branding is a critical support for sales, and how it has to be done, how to go about it, are things that, again, we share our knowledge and experiences. So this entrepreneur series is largely focused on SMEs, MSMEs, family businesses, and the whole aspect of people. Right? So this whole section is, I'm just stressing on the various programs that we offer for corporate sector, as well as the entrepreneur sector, as well as for non-networks, right? So whether we are wearing a cap of a mentor or a coach or a facilitator, I think the important thing is that our role is to make you and the organization see what you don't see and hear what you don't want to hear, so that the whole thinking and alignment of the team, the departments, and the organization can go in a totally new direction, right? What I call new ways of doing old things, right? So that you can get new goals and new targets and new visions can be redefined for the next 1 or 2 or 3 years, and then aligning the team to that, so that um, there's a fundamental change either at the individual leader level or at the team level or at the organization level. So one of the things that I normally do when I'm coaching an individual leader is like, whatever you've done so far, the goals that you've worked on, how is it helping you? How is it helping your team? How is it helping your organization? If it's not helping all three, then something is not okay, right? It's only helping you and not helping the team and the organization, that doesn't help. So our role as facilitators is to actually drive change in mindset, change in thinking. Uh, what can I do differently? Not about what somebody else can do different. What can I do differently? Right? That's our role as facilitators. And I think the very fact that we come with so much of experience is what really comes in useful. So to cut a long story short, like I said, there are 4 videos. One video is where we play the role of a mentor for businesses. One is where we play the role of a coach for individual leaders, individual entrepreneurs, individual solopreneurs, right? The third cap is where we play the role of a facilitator, right? And of course, we also bring in the whole aspect of wellness and holistic approach to business, holistic approach to coaching, holistic approach to everything. Right? So this really is what I want to cover. These are my contacts here for anybody who would like to reach out to. It's got my LinkedIn profile, it's got the email IDs, it's got the YouTube channels, both for entrepreneurship as well as for leadership, and that different playlists for leadership, that different playlists for entrepreneurship. So mentoring, coaching, leadership all comes under one, right? So the idea is that there are enough material available, and we'll be more than happy if you reach out to us, and I'll be happy to clarify, share further details, share the kind of client feedbacks that are there, and look at how some of these things can actually benefit you as a team and an organization. Right? Thank you so much for listening in, and I hope that this sharing has given you a bit of flavor of the kind of width of offerings that we have. This is just one part of it. Like I said, the other 2 sections on coaching, mentoring, which cover those aspects in same level of detail and are available on YouTube. Yeah, thank you so much. And once again, do feel free to reach out to me or to on my LinkedIn or my YouTube, and we'll be happy to sort of connect, take it forward, and see how I myself, along with my team of expert colleagues, we all work together, we can come with the right expert who will be most relevant for your organization and your requirements. Thank you so much. Good day.